Hi guys, it's Tracy here. I hope everybody had a great National Scrapbooking Day this weekend. I'm going to share with you guys the fruits of my labor for National Scrapbooking Day. My husband graciously took the kids for the entire day. I think this was my Mother's Day present. I got to scrapbook literally the whole day long. And so I participated in the challenges over at scrapbook.com. That's what I did last year for National Scrapbooking Day, and I absolutely had so much fun. Firstly, I am a really, really slow scrapper, and so having 2 hours to do a layout is very, very challenging for me. Most of the layouts that you guys see my process vids for, the most simple of them take at least 2 hours, and the majority of them, like if there's any amount of layering and you know, other than the negative space ones, most of them take about 3 to 5 hours to do. So I am a very slow scrapper. So I love National Scrapbooking Day because it gives me a chance to pump out a whole bunch of layouts and really kind of think quick, which is fun. I wouldn't want to scrapbook that way all the time because I do love taking my time because it's all about, for me, it's all about the process. But anyways, it's nice to kind of mix it up and do something different every once in a while. So that's what National Scrapbooking Day is for me. They started off with a snail mail challenge, and which you had to do a themed card, like a birthday or Mother's Day or something like that card. And so I did this. This is like one of the most simple cards ever. It's like, basically I just made a card base, matted it with a piece of pattern paper, slapped on a sticker and a bunch of letter stick. Like, this is really, I almost felt like I was cheating when I did this, but I really, like, the time was running out. You only had an hour to do the card, and I had another idea and I was gathering up the supplies and doing it, and it wasn't turning out at all the way I wanted it to. So I just scrapped that at the last minute, and I only had a few minutes left to make a card. So I slapped this one together, and this is what I came up with. This is a Sassafras sticker from my recent haul from Sassafras, and then these are also Sassafras letter stickers. This is the, I think it's called red. Really, those are orange, but it's called Red Glitter Alphas, and then these are the chartreuse ones. And then I just matted it, and I'll give it to somebody, I guess. Not my favorite card in the world, but it is, I think it is really cute, so I'll definitely give it to somebody. So that was that challenge. Kind of, they always start with, or at least the last 2 years, they've started with a card challenge. Okay, so the second challenge for National Scrapbooking Day was called There's No Place Like Home. And for this challenge, you had to create a layout using the theme of home. So it could be anything about home. It could be your home, inside, outside, or it could be just a place that makes you feel like home or reminds you of home. And so I went outside and snapped these photos with my Instax camera of my house yesterday. And I really like the contrast between the blue sky and our house is actually green, but it's quite a bit richer green, but it got a little bit washed out because the sun was shining on the house quite brightly. It was really early in the morning, and anyways, actually, yeah. I snapped these early in the morning in preparation because they told you what you needed ahead of time. So even though the challenges didn't start until 1 p.m. my time, I got these early in the morning. That's how that worked out. So anyways, I just stamped them with my Dear Lizzie stamp, and I've been doing this a lot lately, just kind of like stamping and then stamping it off, which kind of gives a more casual look. And so this was really, really fun to make. It was another one of those, I guess I've been sort of calling them deconstructed layouts, because it's kind of like you just lay out all your stuff and make it look nice, but you don't do any layering or anything, and it just kind of looks like a bunch of supplies placed out nicely. I love, and I've been holding on to this Studio Calico, this is what the back of it looks like, paper for a long time because I love it, and I wasn't sure. This is an example of hoarding that works for you, because I knew I wanted to use this for a special layout, but I didn't know what until I saw this challenge, and I thought, oh, I think I have floor plan paper somewhere. So I found it, and I love the colors, and this paper was really the jumping off point for this whole layout, because it's sort of it's a really rich, beautiful yellow color. And so then with the blue in the sky, I just decided to go with a yellow and blue color scheme. And then some of these American craft stickers or embellishments had some reds in them, so it's kind of like an orangey red. Maybe it's a coral color, I don't know. But so that color is sort of scattered throughout as well. But so this is Studio Calico. The first thing I did was I did some splats with, this is, I think it's called Custard Mr. Huey's. And then this is the Heirloom Blue Mr. Huey's, I think, yeah. And then I also did some white, even though you can't really see it all that well. It's subtle, but I think it's still worth doing. So yeah. Then I just kind of laid out my pictures, and I had this strip. This was left over from something, and it was that size already. This is Lily Bee Designs paper, and it's from the, which collection is it? I have my cheat sheet here, from the Hello Sunshine collection. And so I started with this in these pictures, and then I just cut everything else to size. This little ruler strip is from the Girls Paperie, and it's a border sticker. And it's from one of those sets where you get, it's like spiral bound, and it's got all those word stickers, letter stickers, some border stickers, and that kind of stuff. So it's from one of those. Don't know which set though. And then I'll talk about the embellishments after I talk about the base. So this is also Lily Bee Designs paper. It was just blue and white, and it's kind of seemed like I needed some yellow because so far every paper, until I did that, every paper was either yellow or blue, and I didn't have anything that had both yellow and blue in it. I added that piece later. So what I did was I took a pencil. Where is that? I don't know where the pencil went that I used, but I just took a pencil eraser, and this one I've done with red on another time, but I just used Jenny Bolin Lemon Drop ink, some of this ink, to put those yellow polka dots on it. And it just kind of, I think that just brings it together a little bit, because it was looking a little bit disjointed. So, so then I had 3 elements that had both the yellow and the blue by the time I was finished, because I also added this piece and then this piece as well. This is the back side of one of these. So Lily Bee Design, Hello Sunshine, Lily Bee Design, Lily Bee Design, Hello Sunshine. Those are all, this is the back side of one of these two, I don't know which. And then this was from my scrap bin. It is Die Cuts with a View. It's from their green stack, and I liked how the blue picked up on this softer blue that's in these embellishments, and I knew I wanted to use these embellishments, so I had to bring the soft blue into it somehow, so that's what that is. And then this is a strip, this was left over from another layout I did. This was blue cardstock from my stash. I think it's Stampin' Up. And then I just used white Stays On with this stamp that came in the April kit of Studio Calico. It's really cool. It's a grid, but it's made up of triangles. It's really, really cool. This is one of my favorites. It's great for making backgrounds and stuff. So that's where that came from. And I used my most favorite, most used border punch, which is this one, the big scallops. It's called Dotted Embossed, Double Embossed Dotted Lace by EK Success. And I found out about this through Allison, Good Grief You, and maybe it was a year ago, or it was a long time ago anyways, that she bought this and shared it, and I ran out and got it like literally the next day. And I've used this so much, so thank you, Allison. This was the best recommendation you've ever made, for me anyways. I've gotten more use out of this than anything else. So after I got the base, kind of, I wanted it to look like a, you know, mostly a square, then I wanted to add some more fluid elements to it because it was very boxy, right? So then I had these in mind and these in mind. They're both from the same American Crafts collection, this, and this. This was on a package of stickers, and these were a package of flares. And so I kind of spread those out as they are, and I made sure that some of the elements go off of the box just to kind of relax it up a little bit. It was kind of, you know, outside the box, right? Think outside the box. And then I didn't want to make anything that would compete too much with the linear elements, but I wanted it to be just kind of like little added details that went outside of the linear elements. So that's why I chose to make these punches out of vellum instead of out of a pattern paper, because they kind of blend in a little bit better made out of vellum. And I don't mind that you can see the glossy accents. I kind of figured that you would, and I don't usually care about stuff like that. So what I used for that is this Fashionable Hearts embosslet by Stampin' Up! And it cuts and embosses at the same time all of these hearts. And so I love this. I use this quite a bit. And then the other one that I used was the butterfly one. It's almost the same. It's called Beautiful Wings. And you've seen me use that before. These were in my stash. I had cut these for another project a long time ago and just hung on to them. And then this is a Making Memories key that I used a yellow alcohol marker on to make the heart. It was black and white, and so I made the white part yellow. And then I added these sprinkles stickers. Oops, they don't stick very well to the ribbon, and I haven't yet tacked them down with my I used Tombow Mono multi-adhesive for this kind of stuff, but I just haven't. I'll do that before I put it in the book. And then this is Stampin' Up! Gathered ribbon, or pleated ribbon. And then this is also Stampin' Up! Pom-pom trim. And there's challenge number 2. So challenge number 3 was called Write a Book. And it was, you had to have, I think, 5 to 10 lines of journaling, 5 or 10, or more than 10 or more than 5. I can't quite remember the details of the challenge, but you had to have a lot of writing. And so this is another one where I feel kind of like I cheated. There's not a whole lot on this element, there's not a whole lot of elements on this layout, but really the journaling took a long, long time. Because I didn't think of it ahead of time. They actually told you some of the things that you could do ahead of time, and it was clear that one of them included journaling, and so I could have decided to do this ahead of time, but I just didn't. So I kind of did it on the spot. And so this one is about my ongoing obsession with Lost. So it's called Lost and Found, because I kind of felt like I used to joke around and say I've been lost without Lost ever since it went off the air, and so now we recently started rewatching it, so I feel kind of like we found Lost again type of thing. I don't know, a bit of a play on words there. And this paper behind the title is actually from the Basic Gray Basics collection, the white pack. And the actual paper wasn't quite the right scale, so this is actually the strip from the front page of that collection. You know how they've got, like, Basic Gray, whenever you buy a collection, it's got all these strips on the front that show you a sample of what's inside. And so that was more the scale of what I was looking for, so I cut out that strip and used it behind these letters. These are Glitz Designs letters. I forget what they're called, but they came in a Scarlet Lime kit last year, so I used those. And then these are my old favorite thickers, which are the Daiquiri font, and they're a foam. They've got nice dimension, and I like this. I did this in my project Life too. I use the same font for the word Lost because I think it's really similar to the Lost that they use on the TV show. So then I, of course, had to put the numbers in there, so I stamped them. I only have one set of number stamps. They're by Fancy Pants. They're these numbers. They're not actually a number set. It's another set that happens to have some numbers in it. So, and the numbers are all different sizes, which makes for kind of an interesting look. So I put the numbers there, and then my journaling, I'm just going to read it because it was kind of the main part of my layout was the journaling, so I am going to read it for you in a second. I use this gray washi tape, and I liked it. It's kind of, I think they call that an airmail stripe, and you know, like air mile in the plane, not air miles, airmail stripe. Air miles are something completely different. So I thought it's kind of like it went with the theme anyways. And the gray kind of, you know, everything in Lost is kind of industrial looking, old, kind of that sort of thing. So I thought that was kind of cool. And then this is probably not the same part of the world. It's probably a made up map or something. But it had a lot of ocean in it, and it looks a little bit like an island. So this is from Evalicious, the flare badges that I recently got. So I just stuck that on there. And then so I journaled on, I just typed it up on my computer and I put it on vellum, and it's just attached where the washi tape is. And then this is a photo that, it's like a promotional photo. I downloaded it. It was the only photo I could find that I liked and that had the right quality, that when I printed it up it wouldn't be all pixelated and stuff. So there's actually two people missing. Daniel is here, and but we're not watching the show. We're only in season 2, so Daniel isn't even in it yet, so I didn't mind cutting out Daniel. And then the other guy who goes with Daniel, I forget his name, they got cut out, but I really wanted to make sure that my main favorite characters, Saeed and Locke, were in there, and so they're my favorites, so I had to. And Hurley, of course. Hurley wasn't even close to being cut out. But anyways, I love these guys, and Desmond, of course. I love them all. I don't have a favorite. I love them all. So anyways, it just says favorite moments from seasons 1 and 2. So the first one is Charlie and Claire share an imaginary jar of peanut butter. And I just made these up off the top of my head, so I might have forgotten some of my actual favorite moments. It's just, you know, what struck me as I was sitting at the computer. Jack implores the rest of the survivors to live together or die alone. And I didn't really look up to make sure that some of these quotes are completely accurate, so they're just kind of generally the gist of what I love. Locke says, we're not the only ones on this island, and I think we all know it. That was a scene on the beach. I love that one. Saeed and Shannon fall in love. I just loved how that played out over the course of several episodes. Kate is haunted by a black horse in the jungle. That's one of the more recent ones that we watched, and I loved it. Opening scene of season 2, meeting Desmond in the hatch, the best scene ever. I think that was literally the best scene ever on television ever. That's just amazing. I posted it on my Facebook. It's awesome. My favorite scene. That's the one where Desmond, you don't know, you think that it's a flashback because it looks like it's modern day, and he wakes up, there's an alarm and there's music, and he wakes up and he's getting himself ready and making a protein shake, and then he injects himself with something, and then he hears a noise and gets some guns and gets ready, and then you realize that it was John and Jack up at the top of the hatch, and it's just like, oh, it's awesome. I love how it plays out. Okay, so where am I? Right, so the opening scene of season 2 is just like the best television ever made. Locke, Jack, and Hurley finally blast open the hatch. Awesome. The orientation video, and I love that Locke says, we're going to have to watch that again. I actually used that when Lost ended. I posted that on my Facebook. Locke saying we're going to have to watch that again, because right from the beginning I knew I'd watch the whole thing all over again. Helen teaches Locke to take a leap of faith, throwing his keys over the gate to his father's house. Also, when Helen meets Locke, she says she likes bald men. When he says, but I'm not bald, she says, that it's okay, I'm prepared to wait. I just love Helen. When Michael types into the computer, I'm Michael, who's this? And then the computer replies, Dad? Oh my God, what a moment. I love that. Jin and Sun and Rose and Bernard are reunited on the beach. Oh my God. I'm like, I don't cry very often, but that made me cry. That was a moment. Then there are heartbreaking moments when Shannon dies in Saeed's arms. I think she might have already been dead, but just like seeing him holding her was just like heartbreaking. The others approach the raft and say, we're going to have to take the boy. Oh, and then Michael calling for oh, it says walk. That's a typo. It should have said Walter. Calling for walk. I'm going to have to fix that because that doesn't make any sense. All night in the water. So Michael just calling for Walter, and the big fight that happened between him and Sawyer afterwards. That was a great moment. Sawyer's dad kills his mother and then himself while Sawyer hides under the bed. Those cowboy boots haunt me. Sawyer tells Jack that Christian was proud of him. That was such a moment of, you know, uncharacteristic kindness by Sawyer. We got to see his true, you know, underlying soft side. Locke wakes up after donating his kidney to his father, and the bed beside him is empty because his dad, of course, if you follow the show, you know his dad basically stole his kidney. So anyways, that's my layout, and I got to use this awesome jungle-y type paper by Basic Grey Origins. I loved the Basic Grey Origins collection, but I didn't make good use. I didn't buy the whole collection. I just bought some pieces of it. I didn't make good use of it because, like, how do you use jungly organic paper? Like I had no idea how to use it, but this was perfect because it's got that jungly type look. So anyways, that was that layout. I think I told you everything on it, so I'll move on to the next one. Okay, so this was probably the most fun layout I made all day, and it also happened to be the layout that won a prize. Hooray for me! I didn't win any prizes last year, and but had a lot of fun. I mean, just doing it is a prize, really, because you get all these layouts done in one day. But I did win a $175 prize package from scrapbook.com. So thank you, scrapbook.com, for hosting such an awesome event and giving such awesome prizes. But I had a lot of fun with this layout. For this layout, I used, let me grab it. This paper here I used as a mask. I don't know who makes this paper, but it came in a Studio Calico kit, and it very well might be Studio Calico paper. Anyways, I just laid it down and I misted white Mr. Huey's all over it. And yeah, so I got a couple of pieces of these because they came in a grab bag and they also came in a kit. So, oh, there's a little, but it doesn't say the manufacturer on it. Anyways, so I keep that in my drawer with my masks because it's good for masking. Anyways, so that was the background, and this is Amy Tangerine paper. It's that paper from her last year's collection. I don't even know what last year's collection was called. And then this is also Amy Tan paper, this wood grain. And this is the strip from this piece of paper. So this is the little manufacturer strip. This is an Amy Tangerine sticker from her little book of stickers. And this is a strip from another piece of Amy Tangerine paper. And this chevron paper, which I love, is the back side of the wood grain paper. So these two are the same paper. Love that paper. I especially love this in small doses. Like, I like it sticking out from things. Really love it. I love the orange. Anyways, so this is the layout. I had a lot of fun with it. I'm just going to walk you around it and tell you what I used. So I already told you the background. These letters are Amy Tangerine goodness. No, hello. I get the goodness and hello ones mixed up. These are the hello ones, and they're fabric with a little line of stitching around them, like it's printed on them. And then these are dark blue sassafras letter stickers, and then these are the same hello stickers but in a different color. So it says hanging with my spuds, and this is a picture of Sophie making these. This is at the toy store in Disney. I think it's called Once Upon a Toy. And she was making these Mr. Potato Heads. And as she made each one and moved on to the next one to make, the lady who worked there would take apart the ones that she had just made. And so she was getting really frustrated. And finally, Scott helped her to get them all done at the same time without the lady taking them apart. And so she stopped for a picture to and posed with it. She doesn't like getting her picture taken, so that's always nice when she actually poses and smiles nicely. So I really liked the hello, there we go. Okay, usually my camera is pretty good for auto-focusing, but that was weird. Anyways, these are also from the Amy Tangerine sticker pack, and I just outlined them and put them on there, and I just let them float over the top of those layers. So this green polka dot paper is from my Mind's Eye Quite Contrary collection, and it was actually one of lots of papers that Nicole sent me from Scrapology here on YouTube. She sent me a whole bunch of papers, so thank you so much, Nicole. I made so much use out of your papers on National Scrapbooking Day. You're going to see them all throughout these layouts, although I think this is the first one that you'll see so far. These are crepe paper stickers, and the A doesn't really mean anything. I just liked it. Sometimes things mean stuff and sometimes they don't. And then this is just some journaling that talks about what happened, and that I already told you. And this is some old dollar paper. It's like mulberry paper or something. It's kind of got a lot of texture in it, and it also has, it's flocked, and it's really, really pretty. I got it probably 5 or 6 years ago at the dollar store, and I've hung on to as much of it as I could, but I think I used the last of it on another layout later on today. So anyways, I just used that really fun border punch again that I use on lots of stuff. And I put a little bit of it here, and I stuck a little bit of it there, and then I put a little bit more of it there. So, and I like that it kind of picks up on the blue and the blue, so I kind of tried to make blue go throughout this layout. And this is one of those fashionable hearts, embossed hearts that I showed you on the last layout. This is just a little piece of trim that I cut the individual butterfly off. It was like a bunch of them connected. This is another sticker from the crepe paper collection. This is Amy Tan sticker, I think I already told you. This is a bunch of yellow and white twine that came in the Studio Calico City of Lights kit, and I just stapled it with my tiny attacher in a couple of different places to try to keep its shape, but to not actually glue it down, so it's all like it flops around. I already told you that's an Amy Tan border. I think I covered my cluster now. So up here is just another one of those stickers, and that little border strip folded. This is what I do these days. I love that. And then I just stapled some twine, some more twine there. And then this is the roller stamp, the Amy Tan roller stamp, and Dear Lizzie roller stamp. I just put the date on there and just went over it over and over and over again, all the way down. So there's that one. And now I'll move on to oh yes, so I forgot to tell you guys the challenge that this one was for. It was called Mask It, Mist It, and it was you had to use a mask and you had to use a mist. And so that's what the challenge was. Sorry guys. Okay guys, so this is the last layout that I did for Scrapbook.com's National Scrapbooking Day challenges. This was the last challenge of the day. And the challenge was to use this sketch right here. And so it has a banner, it has like a large area that's used for journaling or whatever, and then 3 3x3 photos. And I had these already prepared ahead of time because they told you that you'd need 3 3x5 photos. And then there's just a little floaty thing here too. So you had to use all of the major elements in the sketch. You didn't have to follow it exactly, but you had to use all the major elements. So I'm not sure how they would interpret that, but I kept to the sketch pretty closely. So there's the sketch. And then there's what I came up with. I did kind of flip it so that my photos are over here and my banner goes this way. So it's kind of inverted. And then instead of using the circle, I used a top note shape, which somebody else on their they posted some examples. And so they had done that, and I just kind of lifted that idea because I had this paper. This is more of the paper that Nicole gave me. It looks like this on the other side, and this is, I think, the main side, but I really liked the B side of this, so I cut it off and put it over there. And I'll just tell you the stuff other than the banner, and I'll tell you the banner last, because that was a bit of an evolution, and I've gotten a lot of feedback that people like it, so I'm glad it looks okay to you guys. I kind of don't like it. But anyways, I think it's one of those things that when you spend too much time fussing with something, it doesn't matter what it looks like, you're not gonna like it. Anyways, I use this really cool washi tape, which I love. I love this because it's got such a tiny, tiny little print to it. Let me see if I can get it focused. There we go. So it's got the tiny little letters that say love and tiny little hearts. And it is from Freckled Fawn. So that's that. And these are jewelry box thickers in glitter pink color, which is, you know, always a fun color to use on a little girl layout. These are pictures of Sophie doing what we call pajama jumps. So Sophie, whenever she wakes up, her first thing that she wants to do is go and jump on the trampoline. But through the week, of course, we have to get ready for school and preschool and all that kind of stuff. But on the weekends, we let her go out before anything and just jump. And she's usually out there by herself. But this day, I went out and jumped with her. And because we're all, you know, like we need our coffee and breakfast. We don't have quite as much energy, so we do that stuff first and then we jump with her. But on this particular day, I jumped with her. And so I took my phone out with me and shot these great photos. It's a little bit distorted just because we were both kind of like jumping up and down while we took these pictures. And so her face looks a little, I don't know, I think she was too close to the camera or something, but I love the expression on her face, even though it's a little distorted. And then this one, I was laying on my back and the sun was shining behind her and she was kind of like jumping on me. So I stuck my camera in between the two, my phone in between the two of us and grabbed that shot. And I love the flare from the sun. So those were really fun photos that I definitely wanted to capture. So I'll just kind of walk around. I told you this and I told you this. This was from and a lot of the paper in the banner is from the Cosmo Cricket Hey Sugar collection, which Nicole sent to me. She sent a lot of pages from that. So I had lots of coordinating paper to use together. And this heart was just, I love rough hearts that aren't perfect looking, so I loved that. So I just outlined it, and I outlined this paper too. And I did my journaling along here. It says, Sophie loves jumping in the trampoline. It's the first thing she asks to do in the morning, even before eating breakfast. We've started letting her have a pajama jump on the weekends before we do anything else. Through the week, she only gets a morning jump if everything else is done early, which doesn't happen often, but she still jumps any other time of the day. This is a badge from Avalicious. So that's what it looks like. And I wanted to buy some badges that were a little bit different than what I usually get, so that was one of those. And yeah, then I just used my Dear Lizzie roller stamp to put the date on there. And now let's talk about this banner, because it started just the bottom layer of these flags. And when I make these flags, I usually cut them to be 1 inch by 2 inches. And then I use my square punch to get the corner thing cut out of them. And what I've done is I've just kind of marked the halfway point, and it helps me line it up so that I know that the paper's at the right angle, so that those little tails will be at a right angle instead of off like that or off like that. I just use those as guides. So that's what I used for that. And then it was all looking a little too pastel-y or creamy looking, I guess. Creamy, is that a good word? When I just had the Hey Sugar flags on. So, and then there's this big bold amount of blue in here and here, and her shirt is quite bright, and so I just kind of felt like the overall layout, I don't always match my layouts to my pictures, but there was something disjointed about it as it was. So I pulled out a couple of pieces of the original banner that I had there and put some of these. This is Stampin' Up paper from their I forget the name of that color. What is it called? Island Indigo. This isn't Island. This is Island Indigo, and this is just turquoise from their Brights collection. And so I put those in just to kind of pick up on the blue, even though it's not exactly the same blue. I thought it kind of picked up on, they're not exactly the same color, but I thought it did okay. And so that was okay, but then it was kind of like these random pieces of, like, then the blue were sticking out like a sore thumb. So then I decided I would take this punch, which is my 1 7/16 scallop circle, which I write is close to 1 3/8 because I'm so bad with inches. Anyways, I just do that for card making purposes to make it easier on me. But anyways, yeah, I'm bad with math. So inches are just, I'm more used to centimeters. So I cut them all in half and outlined them as well and put those where the intersections of these were. And I used, this is American Crafts bright pink paper that kind of picked up on her sweater, and more of the Hey Sugar paper. And then for these little jewelry tags, I used, this is a Stampin' Up punch. It's their jewelry tag punch, and I did some out of pink and some out of blue, and I made sure I didn't go like blue, pink, so I put two blues together there just so that didn't happen. And yeah, it's done, and it's, you know, it's fine. It looks better than it did when it was just the Hey Sugar, but I think it took me so long. It took me almost an hour to make this border, so, or this banner. So yeah, that's a long time to spend doing one banner. So anyways, I think it's kind of neat. I like that it's different than most banners because it's got more elements in it, and it's kind of, I like the layered banners with lots of texture. So I just kind of, I always pull up the edges on my banners to give them some more texture. So that's what I did there. So anyways, that was my last entry into the National Scrapbooking Day challenges from scrapbook.com. And if you have any questions about anything, just let me know. Oh, this is American Crafts background cardstock, by the way. And so thanks for watching, everybody.